and I just want to welcome you to this video. If you're new here, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, make sure that you check out the links in the description below. And what we're doing here today is this video is going to be very, very powerful. I can feel that we've attempted to start this video since 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. and it's now 40 minutes later, and we've attempted it like 7 times. So stick around and make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end, because this is going to be very transformational. Make sure that you check out the description for events. I have an event coming up this Thursday at, I'm not sure the exact time. I believe it's 4 p.m. Mountain Time. And the information will be in the description. And also make sure that if you are sowing seeds, it's very important to plant seeds in a fertile soil, and there is a link to donate in the description as well in assisting in growing sustainable, off-grid, self-sustaining villages all over the world and manifesting heaven on earth. And with me today is Neal, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, and we'll get into what we're going to be speaking about.
Neal's my name. Neal is not who I am. Who I am is a multi-dimensional, infinite spiritual being that's expressing through a human body. I'm all that was, I'm all that is, and I'm all that ever will be. I'm all of that, and I'm in form. So in form, I'm in a three-dimensional existence right now in this present moment. And in that three-dimensional existence, I walk around, I eat food, I drink water, and I also offer Natural Balance Masterclass, which is occurring every Monday at 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. And Natural Balance, why you would show up to this masterclass is to experience healing. What's healing? Well, healing is a person or a soul in a person who is experiencing oneness most of the time. And so this Natural Balance Masterclass is virtual and physical. So there's online masterclass, and then there's also physical ceremony. And these are options, and how you access physical, being in each other's physical presence, like actually meeting Neal, like actually meeting Dennis, like literally getting to interact with each other physically. How you do that is there's a couple ways. One of the ways is you could show up to this masterclass. Another way is you could reach out directly via email to me or directly via email to Dennis. Another option is you can reach out directly via Snapchat to Neal and say, hey, I'm interested in facilitating a retreat, facilitating a ceremony, and I'd like to do it in Costa Rica, but I don't live in Costa Rica, and you live in Costa Rica, so I'd like some insight and some guidance and of where to do this thing and what I need, and what I need based on what I'm committed to accomplishing. So if that's you, reach out and just open up communication. And another thing that I have an opportunity and a gift here in the 3D physical dimension is I'm a coach that assists conscious people in their 20s exit the matrix, which is a mind matrix, and have perception shifts to literally leave that world and enter an entirely new reality that becomes possible when we change our inner reality, because it appears without, though it is within. And once we change within, the outside reality reflects the change that has occurred inside of us. And with that, we're diving directly into right now And as we dive into right now, where we are is in a theme of trusting myself, trusting God, trusting other people. How the fuck do I trust the words coming out of my mouth? How the fuck do I trust the words coming out of somebody else's mouth? How the fuck do I trust when God is speaking to me or speaking through me? How do I trust? Well, that is a super common theme right now in the entire Earth planet, and I would go as far as to say you're probably experiencing it right now, and it like maybe it has showed up as a aspect of totally not trusting yourself, totally not trusting God, totally not trusting other people. And the reason possibly why you might not be trusting yourself, God, and other people is because of a lack of trust in yourself. And which ultimately, we're all one. So if you lack trust in yourself, you lack trust in the one, and God is the one. So if you don't trust yourself, it's because you don't trust God. And when you trust God, you trust yourself. And so that's trust. There's more there, and there's more to unpack. And what's up, Dennis?
So yesterday I was in a space of not trusting myself, and I've been in this space, I see myself, at least my ego has been in this space of like not making decisions. And the reason that I wasn't making decisions is because I was looking at trusting Dennis rather than trusting God through Dennis. And so I would be hesitant on saying yes or no and having my say be said. So now that I'm fully aligned with what my commitments are, my covenant is, my commitments are to serve God no matter, like, above all else. And the other commitment I have is to bring food sovereignty to this community I live in. And so anything that brings fruit of me or the people around me getting closer to peace, love, and joy, or from the light, from the dark into the light, or from unclarity to clarity. Any decision that I make, if I make my decision with those things in mind, like that, those are how I'm making my decisions from now on. And then I'll look at the fruit, and then from there I'll readjust and reassess.
How's that been going for you?
Very well as of since yesterday. Like, I just had this conversation with my mentor yesterday, had a massive breakthrough and a shift in perception.
Can you share the shift in perception?
Yeah, so I'll just share the journey. So,
even better.
Yeah. So, the woman that I'm in a divine union with here in this community, we had made a commitment to go on this nature walk and look at the gardens and look at what needs to be done, and what we can bring to the garden meeting on Wednesdays. And so it didn't happen this Monday, and so there was a lack of trust in that. And actually, I'm going to back up. And where this came from originally was the Monday prior, so a week ago, we were on this walk, and we started walking, and she goes, "Dennis, where are you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm back by that tree. We had intentions of cutting this big tree down." And I'm like, "That's a big fucking project, like, that can't be fucked up, and I feel like I should be there. And yet I had told her that I would go with her on this nature walk for 30 minutes. And by the way, 30 minutes is not even, that's not long enough to go walk this whole property and really look at what's going on. So I decided in that moment that I would go back and assist with cutting the tree rather than going on this walk. And so there's been this pattern of me not making a decision and sticking with it. And so it's a decision of being double-minded and not being single-minded. Like I was trusting Dennis and not trusting the God through Dennis. And so she confronted me about it yesterday morning. And then also another thing was, it was just this fucking full-on boom, being. And then we had Bible study and we read the first 4 chapters of James in the New Testament, and my ego was to the point where I'm like, what the fuck is the point? What the fuck am I doing here? What the fuck are we doing here? I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like going anywhere. What the fuck? And I felt like a little baby. And so I had a meeting with my mentor right after breakfast, and he just continued showing me these different perceptions of, if you take a silkworm and you pull him, he snaps. But if you pull him and you just pull him a little bit and you put him back together again and then you pull him a little bit further, he can get up to 10 times his size without snapping him. So my point in saying that is that there's these ebbs and flows that we go through during life that we get beat down, and then it's like this progression of every time that we get beat down, it's a little bit further up than the last time. So, and it's not even a beating down. It's growth.
So what was the exact perception shift?
Let me grab my notebook. I got it over here.
Right.
I want to answer your question, and I want to make sure that I answer it in the way that. You asked what was the perception shift?
Yeah, what was the exact perception shift that you had?
Well, first of all, I had the beating stick out, and I was beating myself up for it, I was being a victim. So that's where I was in the Bible study. This was 6:30 in the morning. And I abdicated. I was regressing. And so, first of all, my mentor, he goes, just, can you see the perfection and everything? And I'm like, okay. And then it was forgiveness of. Let's see here. So I had the beating stick out, so I put the beating stick down, and then I asked him how he makes decisions, and he said he muscles through it. So when things come at him, it's Neal's has a body flow movement class, and it's so in martial arts, if energy is coming at you, you don't stop the energy. You bring the energy and you just shift the energy where it's going. You move with it. And so I really got to see where when I make a decision to actually be present and be present to the person I'm speaking with and what's being said and what's being asked for, and make a decision. Just make a fucking decision. Because as a king, that's what's being called of us. And so make a decision and then look at the fruit. Did it lead to love or did it lead to fear? Did it lead to light or did it lead to dark? Is it expansive or is it contractive? Did it create worry or did it create stress? Did it create worry and stress or did it create joy and peace? And so looking at the fruit and giving myself permission to fail. And then reassessing, reevaluating, boom, like just making these decisions, like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, if you don't want to be a king, just be indecisive. Just give all your decisions to somebody else. Be a victim. So when adverse scenarios happen in your life, just blame everybody else for it. It doesn't even need to be somebody that you blame. You just need to blame something if you want to not be a king and be a victim and a little bitch. And if you would like to be a victim and a little bitch, then being indecisive and not making decisions, and you don't even need to think for yourself. You can just let other people think for you. But if you want to be a king or if you want to be a queen, then making decisions is essential, and it's part of the unfolding of your kingship and of your queenship.
And if you want to do exactly what Neal said, make sure you also get the beating stick out and just fucking judge the fuck out of yourself. Beat yourself up, like.
That's if you don't want to be a king.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't want to be a king, judge yourself. This will keep you as a victim. This will keep you small. And then blame somebody else for you judging yourself. Just judge the heck out of yourself and then blame somebody for it. And that way you don't need to take any responsibility. But if you would like to be a king would be responsible. And they would also be connected with themselves, with God, and with other people. And a king makes decisions. So if and then they're responsible for their decisions. See, it doesn't matter what the result is of the decision. What matters is that when you make the decision, you're prepared to face any and all consequences that result as a byproduct of making that decision. And it doesn't matter if they're perceived good consequences or if they're perceived bad consequences. Either way, you're owning them. You're saying, I decided this is now the fruit. Let me have it. I'm ready for this fruit because I made the decision. Doesn't matter if I like it or I don't. I now got the fruit. And because I now got the fruit that I received from the decision I made, I know the fruit of that decision in my life. So now going forward, I can either choose alternative decisions or I can choose to make a new decision based on the fruit of where I'm at.
And very likely, if you were indecisive and you made it and you didn't decide, you didn't get anything. Because in James 1, in James 1:6, or actually James 1:7, it says, 7 and 8, he says, "For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways." So, and actually in James 1:6 it says, "But let him ask in faith with no doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind." So, the biggest thing that I've learned in the past day is just to fucking decide. Like Neal was saying, like make a decision, yes or no, stick with it, and fucking keep on going.
By the way, this is not a recipe to get people to like you. When you start making decisions, you're gonna piss some people off. But what about it?
The point of life is not peace. The point of life, at least, the point of love is to confront, because love is confronts dysfunction.
Are you afraid of pissing people off? Are you afraid of actually expressing love to its fullest capacity?
If you are, just continue being small, but...
Yeah, and you probably don't want to stick around on this video or on this channel, because if you're committed to being judgmental, being small, being blamey, being victimy, you can hang around, but it's going to be very clear that isn't the full expression of who you are, and it's only a facet of who you're not. And who you are is infinite and eternal, and you perceiving yourself as being a victim is a made-up egoic construct. That's bullshit, which is belief systems. It's a web of belief systems that part of that web is your name, and so you've attached your name to this victim web of bullshit, and you're saying that's who you are. And so if you stick around, I'm just going to keep illuminating it like I am right now. And
He's going to fanning the flames.
So yeah, so there's already a pilot light lit inside of you right now as you're hearing this. And like Dennis was saying, as you continue to show up here, that pilot light is growing already and continues to grow into a roaring flame. That's the flame of awakening. It's the flame of waking up. It's the fire that's in the root chakra that rises through all the energy centers, and until the whole system is aligned, connected, and flowing in harmony in the body and in harmony with God. And where's the kingdom of God? It's within. You got to go within. If you go without, you're gonna go without. But if you go within, you're gonna receive the whole entire all of it. You're gonna receive everything. And so being single-minded comes from surrendering your bullshit. It comes from surrendering being a victim. It comes from surrendering your perceptions. It comes from surrendering your opinions. It comes from surrendering your expectations. It comes from surrendering your my truth. Well, then what's left? The truth. What's left? Love. What's left? Single-mindedness. What's left? Presence. What's
Gratitude.
left? What's left? Nothing.
Yeah, like if
nothing is left, everything is here. If you want something to be left your smallness and receive everything. Now is the time. When? Now. Right now would be a great opportunity to just open up your heart and receive. But before that comes the process of letting go. And it's just letting go of the ego. It's even letting go of your name. It's letting go of the clothes you wear. It's letting go of the shape of your body. It's letting go of how others perceive you.
all of it. All of it.
Now, if you want your say to be said and have it be heard in the exact manner that you intended to communicate it, how you're going to do this is by letting go. Letting go of what? Your opinions, your expectations,
Attachments.
your attachments, your desires, your perceptions, your my truths. You're letting go of your smallness. You're letting go of your judgment. You're letting go of your shit. You're unpuckering.
You're getting rid of the mass in the ass.
And you're releasing. And you're feeling a weightlessness after you do that. And from this weightlessness, you go from having all this bullshit, having all these perceptions, having all these stories, having all these opinions. You've let all that go. And now there's a next step, which is noticing the perfection in all things. So, wow. I feel my breath. I hear birds. I feel breeze. I feel connection. I feel peace. So, accepting the perfection of what is, and now expressing gratitude for the perfection of what is. Wow, I'm so grateful to be wearing clothes. I'm so grateful to talk. I'm so grateful to be here with you, Dennis. I'm so grateful to be here with you, viewer. And so expressing gratitude, and then from gratitude, now listening. All right, but listening from a question. Now I'm going to ask a question. It might be this question, it might be a different question, but the question I'm going to ask is, what would love have me do here? Might be that question. Another question might be, what would God have me do here? Or what would God have me be here? So after the gratitude, asking the question. And then actually listening. Because when you actually listen, that's how you receive. So asking the question, what would love have me do here? And then listen. And then love says what it's going to say. And then you, the listener, you decide if that was love talking or if that was your ego talking. It's in this moment that you choose doubt or faith. Alright, so let's say you choose faith. Alright, love spoke, I listened, and I have faith in that. So now I'm going to take an action from my faith, and that action will be what love spoke. And now, when I walk, I'm walking, why? Because love said so. When I talk, why am I talking? Love said so. Why am I sitting in this chair right now? Love said so. Okay? When I talk, why am I saying what I'm saying? Because love said. Do you want to know how to have your say be said? Who here would like for your say to be said? Who here would like for when you talk to be heard by somebody on a soul level, on a heart-to-heart connection, where you heard by the other person, like they locate you exactly where you're speaking from? Who here would like that? I would like that. So if you want your say to be said, your say is coming from the source. Because if your say is coming from your expectation, if it's coming from your opinion, if it's coming from my truth, if it's coming from your perception, if it's coming from your ego, if it's coming from your small self, if it's coming from your name, it's a limitation on the totality of what is. And if you speak from a limitation, what you're going to be speaking is limitation. And if you speak from the source, if you speak from God, you're speaking from an infinite source, so you're speaking infinitely. You're speaking infinitely into creation. And how to have your say be said is speak from an infinite source and speak the truth. If you speak lies, you can speak, but only other people who hear lies will listen to you. And if you actually want to be heard, if you actually want your say to be said, if you actually want to connect with people on a soul level, it requires you listening and speaking from love, from God, and it requires the other person listening and speaking from love, from God, to be able to hear where you're speaking from and actually receive it. If any of those parameters are missing, if one person has more bullshit than the other, then the distortion will occur to the degree that the bullshit's present. And so that's why letting go is first. And letting go is super synonymous with surrender. And surrender is not giving up your sovereignty. You only surrender once you're conscious. If you're unconscious and you surrender, that's not the surrender I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is consciously surrendering your bullshit, your opinions, your my truths, your expectations, your perceptions, consciously choosing that, and then accepting giving gratitude, asking a question, listening, taking an action from the listening, and the action is taken from faith. If there's doubt, no action is taken. If there's faith, the action happens. And with that, you have an exact recipe of being totally on purpose, on your soul purpose. You have a recipe in trusting yourself. And the trust is in trusting yourself to get out of the way and allow something greater than you to move through you. And you have a recipe for being single-minded. When we're split-minded, it's because we have expectations of our parents. We have perceptions of our cousin. We have an opinion from this person on YouTube. We have a my truth from this guy in Canada. But Bill Gates said this. Yep, that's a perception. But you know, my dad said this. Exactly, that's an opinion. Well, my cousin said this. Exactly. That was an expectation your cousin had of how things need to turn out. We're letting go of all of that. And
all the programs.
We're letting go of all the nothing and receiving the everything, which is God. And with that, I'm complete. What do you got, Dennis?
I'm complete.
Good. So, I'm complete, and I'm going to add something. Whoa. You can do that? Yes. When you're complete, you're complete. It doesn't say it's finished, but you can be complete and then create something. But wait, that's not complete. Yes. I receive your perception. I receive your opinion. Completion is a state of something being done in the moment, but not finished indefinitely. So I'm complete, and I'm going to add how this works in you actually taking the step is you willingly deciding. You need to decide. If you don't decide, you're not going to take a step. And the decision comes from faith in God and faith in the listening. So from the listening, deciding from clarity, from a single mind of being directly tapped in, and then making a decision from that. And with that, I love you. Thank you, for subscribing, and thank you for leaving a comment, and thank you for being you. These live streams are happening every Wednesday at 3:00 p.m. Mountain Time. The Mountain Time just changed, so if you've been coming to these lives, and we just went through a time change, so it's changed now to 3:00 Mountain Time, and so these are happening every Wednesday, and I love you. Peace.